Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Sometimes customers demand ridiculous things from employees. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Rude customer versus union worker. I was working at the postal station from hell. Had a piece of rolling equipment get caught in a piece of broken tile and pop up then under my toe. Shattered the toenail. I was lucky not to have a broken toe from it too. So I'm on light duty, which meant I had to work the service window where people come to pick up packages, signature required mail, fill out change of address and hold mail forms, stuff like that. Remember, I have a foot injury. This means that getting around is not easy for me. Have a customer come in about an hour before closing, hands over 2 pick up your mail forms for certified letters. Y'all probably don't realize this, but in big city facilities, we don't have your certified mail sitting in a gold case all by itself, and postal workers staring wistfully at it, wondering when we'll see you. Now we have your mail sorted out by the last number of your street address in trays with hundreds of other certified letters just like yours. This means it can take quite a while to find your mail when you finally drag your butt in to pick it up. So I go looking for these 2 letters. It was a recent enough thing that I checked the stand-up cubby we had for the latest certified to pickups. Not there. So I hobble to the longer-term storage area about 10 feet from the door. I finally find both letters and go to the window. The customer tells me that he wants to talk to the postmaster because I took 3 minutes to get his mail. And that was unacceptable. I tried to convince him to get the party more likely to be on the premises to handle his complaint, a supervisor, but nope, he's adamant about speaking to the postmaster. Hint, people, the later in the day it is, the less likely the postmaster will be there. But okay, you want the postmaster, you get the postmaster. I smile and tell him, sure, I'll go get him now, and I shut the Dutch door, with his mail still in my hand. You thought 3 minutes was a long wait? Ha! You just activated a union worker trap card, bub. Now, I did go to the postmaster's office first, but as usual, he wasn't in there. Still, I made a good faith effort to look there. I didn't see him on the floor either, so I checked the dock, conveniently getting in a smoke while I was out there. Nasty former habit. I checked the break room and drank a soda while I was there, knocked on the men's room door, no answer, oops. That soda just worked its way through me. Need to use the ladies now. I was about to check the parking lot to see if his car was even there. Oh look, there's the postmaster coming back from an off-site meeting. I take the time to bring him up to speed on the customer complaint. This guy knew me and smiled. How long have you kept him waiting now? I think it's been 20-25 minutes. You can deal with him while I handle the paperwork. This'll be fun. You're lucky I like you because you're a hard worker though. The customer was absolutely livid when the door finally opened again. He demanded that I be fired right then and there, as if that's how it works in a union job. My boss, to his credit, chewed out the customer for being such a jerk to an injured employee who had actually done a great job in taking only 3 minutes to find 2 letters amongst hundreds. In 2 separate locations, he even took one of the trays over to the ledge, slammed it down, and said, "See how long it would take you to go through this to find not 1 but 2 letters. And then tell me 3 minutes is too long." Lesson to be learned. Union workers don't have to take crap off dirtbags. It's only mail, for crying out loud. And our second story. When evil Karen was towed. This happened when I was 13 or 14. I don't remember specifically my age on this one since it stretched out over a good number of months, but I do remember it was one of the dumbest things my stepmother tried as a power play with neighbors. Let's call her Karen. Karen loved nothing more than to lord herself over others, and then acted like you were the bad person for not doing as she says. When I was a teenager, Karen started a small feud with some next-door neighbors. The same neighbors who enthusiastically let me put gnomes in their trees. Now you'll know why. This all started when the neighbor had guests for a party and several cars filled the street. Some weren't properly parked, so Karen secretly called a tow service. If I recall, one car was parked next to a fire hydrant and a couple others were too far from the curb or something. The 2 trucks came in and started hooking up cars. Somebody in the party saw this and flipped out. and one person nearly got in a fight with one of the tow drivers. In the end, the trucks let their cars go for a fee and made them move their vehicles somewhere else. The neighbor's party was ruined, and they packed it up. They knew it was Karen who called them because she was dumb enough to gloat about it, and said if she saw any illegally parked cars on the street, she'd have them towed no matter what time of day or night it was. From then on, it was war. They exchanged a few petty things back and forth. Karen tried to quote old HOA stuff regarding parking even though the HOA was a decade dead. The neighbors responded, playing the most obnoxious music they had really loudly, which made Karen go nuts while she was trying to watch TV. Karen countered by throwing spoiled leftover food out of the fridge to their dog, and the dog got sick for a few days. The neighbors responded by spraying Karen full blast with a super soaker right in the face when she was caught trying to feed the dog more bad food. That knocked her off the fence and she fell right on her butt in the grass. Karen threatened to call police. They countered by threatening a lawsuit for making their dog sick. Karen wanted to slash tires on the neighbor's car and was actually looking for a knife she could use to do it. I knew this wasn't going to end well and got my dad on the phone. He told her that if she did slash any tires, then she'd be paying for the new tires on the neighbor's car and any other vandalism she does. Karen fumed and called my dad unsupportive of her feelings before plopping herself down on the couch to brood. She hated losing at anything, no matter how petty it was. Unless the thing she was losing at was something she just didn't care about. The war with the neighbors seemed to end, apart from some insults traded back and forth here and there, until one day Karen slipped up. She parked in one of those spots in a parking lot that's not actually a spot, but rather a no parking zone, right next to the handicap spaces with the diagonal yellow lines. Well, a friend of our neighbor worked at that store back then, and he recognized Karen when she pulled in because he visited often, and yes, his car was one of the ones that was nearly carted off by a tow truck on the party day. He should have told her not to park there. Instead, he waited for her to enter the store, then he radioed his manager. They had virtually zero tolerance policy regarding that space because people kept trying to park there. Anything from subcompacts to big trucks would get parked there by idiot drivers like once a week, or so I was told. So they kept watch over that spot like a hawk daily. A cop was called in and they ticketed Karen's car, then it was towed because it was considered an obstruction. Karen came out just in time with a cartload of groceries to see them hauling her car away. I wasn't there to see this, but the neighbor's friend told me she screamed like a maniac. Then, you guessed it, demanded the manager. But the manager was already there and told her no parking was allowed in that zone at any time. Karen threw a huge fit and said it was an unused space and people should be able to use it for quick run-ins. But it wasn't a quick stop at the store. She was in there for like an hour. And there was CCTV to prove it. Either way, the manager said that it didn't matter, you park there for any amount of time and you'll be ticketed and possibly towed too. Karen had to back down under threat of arrest by the police that were there, and since her car was gone, she had to take a cab home. Later that evening, my dad roasted her like a Cornish game hen for her illegal parking. I heard him call her a hypocrite for thinking she can park however she wants and other people can't. Dad also made sure Karen paid to get her car out of impound entirely on her own. Again, she was a cheapskate, so this irked her to no end. The neighbors were waiting on the front porch when Karen brought her car home. Someone tipped them off that she was heading home. They laughed at her that now she was the one getting towed for illegal parking. Karen just about stormed their house, but they had that super soaker at the ready again. Karen yelled that she'd get them back for that, and they laughed and said they didn't do anything, and it was just her comeuppance for getting their friends towed. Then they laughed at her for being the HOA boss wannabe who couldn't even follow basic parking rules when she expected everyone else to. Karen nearly had a meltdown until my sister came outside and asked what was wrong. Karen played it off, then went to go pound a bottle of wine. That basically ended the war she had with those neighbors, but their relationship was, and still is, far from amicable. This also wasn't the last time Karen was ticketed and towed for bad parking. My sister told me she was ticketed at the same store for parking across two spaces almost sideways. Apparently it was a Sunday and the parking lot was almost empty, so she thought she could get away with it. But the manager and cops had other ideas. And our last story. Neighbor constantly steals my toilet paper. but burned at work. Our small business shares a bathroom with another small business. A separate tenant in the same building has their own bathroom, but also access to ours due to fire escape routes. For the past year, any spare toilet paper roll in our bathroom has disappeared consistently every Friday night. Also, the bathroom would usually smell of smoke, tobacco and wacky on Monday mornings. I don't like to complain, but the other tenant did, even though our biz buys the toilet paper. Yes, it's in the lease that of the two tenants, our biz must supply and clean the bathroom, as well as maintain the exterior sidewalk. In response to the other tenant's complaint, the landlord had the maintenance guys install one of those battery-operated locks on the bathroom door. Here's the problem. That other tenant with their own bathroom? The maintenance guys. Obviously, the toilet paper and smoke problems continued after the lock. Yesterday, I left a new spare roll in the usual spot in the bathroom, but this time had soaked a single line of this horseradish, capsaicin, and wintergreen nasal spray into the roll. I even left the bottle on the sink counter next to the hand soap pump bottle and a note for other tenant, but visible to all, that said, "Don't use the roll under the sink. Text me first." Just got a text from head maintenance guy. F, I thought you were on our side, not other tenants. J went to the ER thinking he was dying. They say it was something in the toilet paper. Burns, don't it? I'm just imagining the conversation in the emergency room. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.